Good morning, students. Welcome back to physics class. Today we are going to start with a new chapter. In your previous chapter you studied about distance, displacement, velocity, acceleration and all that. In total, you studied about motion. And thank you very much for one student. Only one out of so many of you asked very intelligent question. And that question was, sir, we are studying motion, but what causes motion? I don't know where this student got this great idea, but that is the real question which we are going to find out. People were seeing things moving. People were watching things moving. But what causes motion was a complicated question till Newton came and solved this. People were knowing there is motion, bodies are moving, but what makes bodies move? One fine morning, Newton could not find that. Before Newton, there was one more great experimental scientist. And you know how many years before? 100 years before Newton. His name was Galileo. You might have heard about it. He discovered so many things, he invented so many things. So Galileo was trying to find out what causes motion. In the olden days, there was concept of levity and all that. Levity means something goes up, gravity means something comes down. But why it goes up, why it comes down, why things move, well, people were not knowing. Galileo tried to find out what is motion. But poor fellow, he was not able to get to the bottom of it. But he gave some background. And Newton, looking at the work of Galileo, started thinking and explaining the concept of Galileo into motion and what causes motion. So we will study in this chapter what causes motion. Can anyone think what causes motion? Think. You are standing and somebody comes and pushes you. You move? Anyway. Next thing we will study is the calculation and the idea and finding of that cause which produces motion. We will also study about some new terms, momentum, conservation of momentum, Newton's laws of motion. There are 3 laws. All those things we are going to study in this chapter. So, back to our question. What causes motion? Newton was able to find out the cause and he was able to define it. So before we will go for that, There are two things, two backgrounds which he got from Galileo and then he incorporated in his ideas. Galileo discovered one property of matter, and that property is called inertia. Repeat, inertia. It is a property by which a body remains or tries to remain in the state of rest or uniform motion. Repeat, inertia is a property of a body by which the body either remains at rest or tries to remain at rest or moves in uniform velocity in a straight line. Well, look at this definition, you will get two things about it. Number one, body at rest remains at rest, and body in uniform motion in a straight line remains moving with uniform motion in a straight line. Got it? So we got two type of inertia. Think? Yes. Number one, inertia of rest. Number two, inertia of motion. We will give you some example of inertia of rest. Now this elephant is moving. If I don't do anything to it, this elephant will remain here. It cannot move. It will move only if some pull or some push or some pull is applied to it, then only it will move. Otherwise, no. You keep your book on the table and don't touch it for 3 days. The book remains there only. Very interesting thing about inertia is that a body tries to be in the inertia of rest. Well, these are the ideas Galileo propagated, but he was not able to convince the people, rather convince the authorities, and he got a very sad death. Find out how he died and why he died. Anyway, that is your little exploration. So with the idea of inertia, Newton started thinking. He said, well, body at rest remains at rest unless it is disturbed by an external agent called force. Wow. So what is that external agent? That external agent is a force. He named it force. Why he called it force? Well, I don't know. But he got a term, what he called force, and solved the problem of inertia. A body at rest remains at rest unless it is disturbed by external agent. That we call it force. So my elephant is at the rest. It will remain at the rest thousands of years and more unless it is disturbed by any other agent, external agent. So that external agent is force. Well, beauty of physics is that once you coin a term or once you get a term, you have to define it, you have to measure it, you have to calculate it, blah blah blah. So Newton sir gave the idea of force. Now you put problem on yourself. Now you have to define it, you have to measure it, you have to calculate it, you have to do so many things. Before we go further on force, few things about force. You know, force, you cannot see it, but you can measure and calculate it. That is again the beauty of physics. You cannot see force, but you can measure it, you can calculate it. Great, isn't it? Fine. So this force is basically of two types. Number one, we call it balanced force. Balanced force. Number two, we call it unbalanced force. Got it? A balanced force and unbalanced force. I am standing here. There is one force which is trying to pull me down. You know what is that? Earth's gravity. It's trying to pull me down. There is another force which is coming from the surface, and it is equal and opposite to the force which is trying to pull me down. If that force is not equal and opposite, I will fall further down. I will sink. But I am standing on the force because one force is acting down and equal and opposite force is acting up. So I am balanced. I am not moving. Look at this fan. The fan is also acted upon two forces. One force is trying to pull it down, and other force of the roof is equal and opposite to it, and it is holding it. If these forces are not balanced, what can happen? The fan will come down. Right? So, one beautiful thing about the balance force we learned is the sum total of all the forces acting on a body. In our case, two examples I gave, only two forces are there. So sum total of forces acting on a body is 0. So we don't get any net force. In this case, force, we call it balance force. And beautiful character of balance force is it does not produce motion. So my fan is not coming down because it is under balance force. So no motion. I am not sinking further in the floor because I am acted upon by a balance force. Got it? Another type. What they call it? Unbalanced force. This characteristic of unbalanced force is that it causes motion, movement. So I want to push my elephant as long as my push is balanced. As long as my push is balanced, this elephant will not move. The moment push becomes bigger, the force becomes unbalanced and elephant starts moving. Got it? I am trying to pull it as long as this force is balanced, elephant will not move. The moment my force is increasing, the elephant will start moving. So, one characteristic of unbalanced force is that it causes motion. So I think my one student who asked what is the cause of motion, you must have got the answer. Anyway, you also know now what is the cause of motion. What is that? Force? 3 out of 10. Balance force? 0 out of 10. Unbalanced force? 10 out of 10. So what is cause of motion? Unbalanced force. Now, we will study further more about this unbalanced force and balanced force. Your job will be to find out which physical quantity this force is. Either it is scalar or vector. That you will find out and tell me tomorrow or in my next class. But for the time being, very interesting activities which you can do to understand inertia. Caroms you play. When you play caroms, generally what you do? You put one coin on other coin on other coin and other coin and make a tower. And what you do? If your strike comes and if you are smart enough, with a certain angle you throw the striker and one coin goes inside the pocket and your tower is not disturbed. Try it. Again, if you aim it, angle it, shoot the striker goes, strikes the coin and the coin goes in the pocket. And still that tower is not disturbed. Try doing it. If you can get it, well and good. If you cannot, learn how to do it. How to put the coins in the pocket in the carom. Putting one coin on other, make a big tower and try to put it one by one. Anyway, without disturbing the tower. If you don't strike it properly, the tower will fall down and coins will scatter. Chalo, that can be a difficult task if you think. But I think it is simple task. Another very nice activity you can do. What you can do, take a glass, put a small cardboard piece to cover the mouth of the glass, put a 5 rupee coin there. Give a flick to the card. What will happen? Card will fly off and coin will get inside the glass. Try this. Once again, take a glass, empty glass, take a cardboard, cover the mouth of the glass, put a 5 rupees coin there on the top of the cardboard, flick the card, coin will fall down and card will fly off. Now the question is, why does the coin fall down and card is flicked away? In your carom board, why does only one coin is struck by the striker and goes inside the pocket without disturbing the tower? Think. Can anyone think? Well, those who cannot think, no problem. Those who can think, I will give you the idea. It is related to Yes, it is related to inertia. The coin wants to be in the inertia of rest, and it tries to be in the inertia of rest. The force of flicking acts only on the cardboard, so cardboard flies off. Coin wants to be at the rest, but there is nothing, so it falls down. Nothing to support the coin. It falls down. Similarly, the tower. One coin is struck. The rest of the coin, they want to be in the state of rest. So the tower is not disturbed. What is the father of it? Why should we know all that? I don't know whether you got this opportunity or not. But when I was young child of your age, what we used to do? One of our friend will dose the gardener. Second one will climb on the tree. And third one will be standing like innocent boy under the tree. By the time the gardener will chase first fellow, second fellow will shake the branch of the tree and climb down. And both of them will collect nice beautiful jamuns, collect it and run away or eat. It can be jamun, it can be kachi amyas, or sometimes the paka hua mango. We can do all that. Now you are city children, you don't have opportunity to do it. You might have seen mama doing this exercise. Comes from the bathroom. Nowadays it is hair dryers are there, but when hair dryers were not there, what they do? They beat their hair with towel, so all the water falls, isn't it? Or you beat the carpet, dust falls. Or you are standing in a bus and bus is moving, all of a sudden brake is taken, you fall. You are sitting in a bus and bus is not moving. The